what religion is, our morals will be stripped.
Well, they're setting it up for you guys, the younger generation, to take the hit. They see a church that's on fire for God. That's the church that gets targeted.
You're in the worship saying, praise Jesus.
We are the army of God. We'll dare to discuss what most churches never will, and strive always to speak the truth in love. We are watchmen, warriors, victors. Together, we will fight the good fight and finish strong. This is David Hebner Live.
Hey everybody, David here. So good to be with you. Oh man, the world is going nuts. Or maybe it's, everything that you read about in the Bible, Matthew 24, what Jesus said. I mean, it's happening, folks. It's happening right now before our very eyes. But are we awake? I mean, I'm telling you that if our ancestors, if they could come back, which they can't, but if they could, so I don't know, 50 years ago, my grandfather, your grandfather, my great-grandfather came back right now and saw what was going on, the first thing they would say, if they were a believer, I know, they'd say, David, it's happening. This is it. Everything we had Bible studies on, everything I got up and preached on, everything time I go to a church and I'd listen to a sermon, it's happening right now. But yet Christians, week after week, they pile into these churches, brain dead, many of them, not seeing the signs, what Jesus is talking about. He talked about signs. People want signs. And I'm going to paraphrase the Bible. I hope, God, you will forgive me. Yeah, you want signs? You can't handle signs. Sounds like Jack Nicholson, doesn't it? Few good men. Jesus was basically telling people they cannot handle signs. Why? Because they only want to see the signs that make them feel good, that tickle their ears. Folks, we're in it now. What are we going to do? First, you wake up, you watch, and then you warn. And that's what we do right here every week. We have been with you 5 years, not because of me, because of my wife. No, it's not because of my wife. It's because of God. It's because of God, and it's because you have been here. Why? We wake up, we are awake, now we're watching, but now we warn. What good is it to wake up and to watch if we don't warn? What are we going to keep it for ourselves? That's ridiculous. So what am I talking about? Why am I on a rant? Because I'm looking around and this place is a mess. But yet I don't see pastors getting up and addressing the things that need to be talked about. Oh, David, my pastor talks about politics. Well, goody for you. I ain't talking about politics. Politics is nothing but a manifestation of this dark, dirty hell that's erupting. It's part of politics, yeah, but that's not it. Don't get up there and wave a flag at me. You better wave a white flag called surrender and get on your knees and repent, pastor. War. I want to talk about war. I want to talk about something. Let's talk about something pleasant for a while. War. What is it good for, y'all? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, that was Edwin Starr, 1969. He had a hit. I barely remember it. You guys remember it? War. Christians, they don't want to talk about war. War, David, please don't talk about war. I want to pray to receive a new car, or to get a new house, some more money. The love of my life, but let's not talk about problems, things like war. Christians don't want to deal with war. Even though there's a war all around you and me, it's a war for your soul, for the soul of your kids, for your grandkids. But now let's talk about war in the physical, okay? You read the Bible, especially the Old Testament, though there's no such thing as an Old Testament. New Testament's all one testament. They just break it up so they can, I don't know, maybe sell more Bibles. I don't know. But it's the writings of God. It's God-breathed. You read it. There's war all over the place, baby. God used war to further his agenda. To wipe out civilizations, to punish, to correct, and to reward. War. 60s rock group, the Birds. Remember the Birds? They sang about it. Turn, turn, turn. Bob Dylan wrote a song about it, straight from Ecclesiastes 3:8. A time to love, a time to hate, a time for war, and a time for peace. There is a time for everything. Right now is the time for war. Am I calling war? No, I'm not calling war. I'm shouting that there is war out there. And Christians need to wake up. Why? Because you are a warrior. That's why you're in a war, whether you like it or not. If you say you're a follower of Christ, you are a warrior. Let's go to Matthew 24:6-8, Spencer. Spencer, you weren't in the military, were you, Spencer?
No, sir, I was not.
Okay. Well, we're talking about wars. Do you believe there's a war out there, Spencer?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, let's read about it. First, Matthew 24:6-8. You will hear of wars and rumors of war, but see it to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. Nation will rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. There will be famines, earthquakes in various places. All these things are the beginning of birth pains. Folks, this is happening. Do you think you're going to continue living in your McMansion, driving that SUV, going day after day, and there's not going to be any disruption? Do you really believe that? Oh, David, I got my house, barricading the side of a mountain. Really? How long you think? How far is that going to get you? Not that that's bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but you can't lean on it. You can't depend on it. You can have a place. Warriors do have a place of refuge. They go and they retreat, but you go back into the battle, into the war zone, onto the battleground. You look around, it's a mess. The war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, the war at the border, war in America between the liberals and the conservatives, the Republicans, the Democrats. This country, this world is like a powder keg. And every day, some demonic idiot spews a flame, a torch of hate right into that powder keg, and it's going to blow, baby. Then what? Remember COVID overnight, it seemed? Well, David, it was in China for, 6 months. That's right. It's in China now. It's been their war, censorship, war against Christians. It's a virus. So we're going to talk about this. What does war have to do with you and I as Christians? What are we supposed to look for? How do we approach it? And when it comes to war, how does that tie into the mark of the beast? What about the Antichrist? Where does the Antichrist fit into all this? Or is that just some sci-fi movie that it's not going to happen in my lifetime or your lifetime? Really? Really? See, I cannot not talk about this. Why? Because God said that I will have people's blood on my hands. I don't want blood on my hands. I want to say what I need to say so at least people can hear it. And I want to be clean. That's why I have to talk about it. I want to bring my guest on tonight, Pastor David Lopez from Kansas. Pastor David, you there, buddy?
I'm here.
All right.
How you doing, David?
I'm doing good. Good to have you here. So, Pastor, you have anything you want to add to my rant, or maybe delete it altogether? What say you?
Well, thanks, David, for having me on again. It's a pleasure, immense honor to be with you and the whole team, David Hefner team. The Bible speaks about a war that originated in heaven. Revelation chapter 12, verse 7 describes this terrible conflict that took place in heaven between Michael, the archangel, his angels, versus the great dragon, Lucifer, and his angels. So the Bible basically confirms that a third of the angels from heaven, alongside with their leader, Lucifer, were kicked out of heaven and were sent here to earth. And that war that originated in heaven has come here in our backyard. And like you so eloquently put it, this is something that's obviously continuing to this very moment.
Wow.
This terrible conflict, the great conflict between Jesus Christ and Lucifer.
So really what we're seeing, if I'm reading you correctly, David, correct me if I'm wrong, is what we're seeing is a manifestation in the flesh and the physical of the war that took place in heaven that you just described.
Absolutely.
And the same, what you have is you have dark spirits, principalities, they occupy this geography. I'm going to call it the United States, or we'll call it the world, but let's say the United States. The principalities are territorial. They occupy an area, okay? Now you've got these powers and these dark, the minions and the demons, they actually occupy people. So when you're seeing the evil against the good, you're actually seeing a reflection, a mirror image of what you just described, the war in heaven. It's now just manifested here on earth. Is that kind of what you're saying?
That is correct. And they're obviously positioning themselves to try to take over the minds and the hearts and the lives of people. So you have a spiritual battle, because right now you describe obviously what's going on in the Middle East. We talked about what's going on in Ukraine. Those are physical battles, but we're talking about a spiritual battle that has to do with the salvation of every single person that has ever walked the planet Earth. And so even with our country, the United States, I don't know if you remember, David, but Ike Eisenhower, when he was leaving office in the late 50s, early 60s, he gave a farewell speech where he was talking about the military-industrial complex, where obviously the United States was going to profit off selling arms, having all these conflicts that were going to be taking place in the Middle East, and fighting against communism, fighting against the Soviet Union. So we have obviously an example of what the physical war is in our world, but at the same time, there is one that's much more bigger that has to do with salvation. It has to do with Jesus Christ, his sacrifice. He came down from heaven to die for us and give us the hope of eternal salvation. But the devil, because he's condemned with his fallen angels, the demons, they're trying to stop us at any cost to try to prevent us from being saved and from being, obviously with Jesus Christ in heaven forevermore.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with that. I'm going to put a footnote on that, but a lot of Christians stop at that. They go, "I'm saved, David. So what do I care?" Excuse me, but getting saved is just the beginning. Salvation is just the beginning. Scripture says that Paul said you're a warrior, you're an athlete, you're in God's army, right? So we must fight the battle. Fighting the battle is not going and sticking our head in a Sunday sand pile in some Six Flags Over Jesus church once a week, and then popping back up and going home in our SUV and eating fried chicken. It is a continuous battle, which we must, and I said, wake up, watch, and warn, which we need to wake up, watch, and warn. I want to play a video that's on David Heavener TV exclusive. Go to davidheavener.tv, Spencer, and go to recommended channel. Go to the recommended channel and play that America's Final Hour. This is Irvin Baxter, the late great. We lost him to COVID. Let's play just the beginning of that, and we're going to talk about that. America's Final Hour.
Church is doing its job. It will be the greatest spiritual awakening in the history of mankind.
Right, but are we going to be running and hiding under a rock? Are we going to be persecuted?
But it's not the lukewarm church that's going to awaken. They're going to think, oh, the New World Order is wonderful. This is what we've been praying for.
We're just too comfortable as Christians. We need to understand this could happen just like that.
Well, let me tell you, this is not going to be 3,000 dead. This is going to be millions dead.
Yeah. Millions dead. By the way, if you guys want to go to davidheavener.tv, I hope you're watching the show on David Heavener TV. It's free, but we've got all these channels. We have the Livestream channel, of course, the Russ Dizdar tribute channel. I have all my videos, many videos on Russ Dizdar, the David's Choice channel, and on there we've got Russ Knew Too Much. I got a brand new video on him I just released on why I think he passed away. Do I think it was COVID? I say, well, you got to watch the video. We've got DNA that will turn off your DNA. We've got the New World Order is here. All these are new videos. We got the Spiritual Warfare Training channel, the Recommended channel. You just saw America's Final Hour on that. We've got the Alien Demon channel, a lot of L.A. Marzulli stuff on that. We have the Last Evangelist TV series channel. You watch it exclusively just on David Heavener TV. That's our new TV series. Mind Control channel coming. Folks, listen, this is 900 videos of education. I like to think of education. When you watch it, you can get things that that the preachers don't talk about in church. And they need to. They need to talk about a lot of these things. We have a live TV. Live TV. You can watch live TV. Just click it on, watch it 24 hours a day. Okay? Go to davidheavener.tv. Please sign up. You get 2 months free if you'll do it, and you can go underground with us if you do it now. David, I just played that intro to on America's Final Hour with Irvin Baxter, and he talked about it's not going to be the modern day church that wakes up. It's going to be God's people. Do you believe? I mean, do you kind of see that happening?
Absolutely. Revelation 14:12 talks about God's true remnant church, because Jesus said, many are called, but few are chosen. So not everybody that claims to be of God is of God. And so it's very important that in the end times, we're having a very true, genuine relationship with the Lord, and we're surrendering our lives more to him. We're clinging to his word, and we're vindicating the name of Jesus Christ, because Jesus is true. His name is being sabotaged. It's being stepped upon by the devil, the demons, the fallen angels, the New World Order. This global system is trying to enslave humanity and try to, spread fear and hate and rejection of the gospel. David, I saw a video. I don't know if you heard about this, but football season is taking place right now, right? The teams are in the playoffs right now. Everybody's excited because the Super Bowl is right around the corner. There was a gentleman, the quarterback from the Houston Texans, if I'm not mistaken. He was being interviewed by the reporter, and the first thing that came out of his mouth was, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Guess what happened? The network, ESPN, decided to omit that, to basically remove that from the interview and just edit the what he said on live TV. And so we're seeing how all these companies, TV stations, networks, the mainstream media, the prostitutes, like I like to call them, they want to censor and they want to attack anybody and persecute people that stand up and defend the name of Jesus Christ.
Absolutely. It's shocking. I want to go, Spencer, to Revelation 13:15 through 18. I want to read this, David, and talk about it just a little bit before we take a break. Revelation 13:15 through 18. The second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that the image could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed. Verse 16, it also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand and on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. This calls for wisdom. Let the person who has the insight calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. That number is 666. David, what I want to focus on in this, because there's a lot here, and unfortunately it'd take 5 shows just to cover verse 15. I want to focus on 16. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand and on their foreheads. Okay, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark. So this is everybody. This is rich people, poor people,
Absolutely.
famous people, unfamous people, pretty people, ugly people, big people, little people, all people, right? That's what it says. That if you don't take it, you will not eat. You cannot buy or sell. Do you believe that we're close to this point of the mark of the beast, having to take something?
Of course, yeah. Every day that I tune into the news, I'm reading social media, reading the Word of God, having prayer. The Lord He speaks to me, David. He speaks to me like He probably speaks to you and everybody else that's listening to today's program. And so this year is going to be a test for God's people, for God's church. We're going to be tested like no other time before. And I obviously understand that we're getting closer to the second coming of the Lord. But this year, I was actually discussing this with my mom not too long ago, and I told her, Mom, this year, for whatever reason, I feel this tremendous turmoil, the spiritual turmoil. I feel this uneasiness that's taking place in my heart. And I feel like the Lord is impressing my heart that something horrible is going to be happening very soon. And so I truly believe that the mark of the beast is definitely something that we're going to be seeing here very, very, very soon.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is conjecture, but soon, you mean you're talking a couple of months, a couple of years? What do you feel in your spirit? How soon is it going to start rearing its ugly head?
I would say less than 5 years, David. If I were to speculate on a particular timetable or time frame, I would say less than 5 years. The mark of the beast is going to be something that we're going to be seeing. George Orwell, do you remember 1984?
Yeah.
Book 1984? He started warning us. I know he didn't have the same belief system like we did, but when you read 1984, it talks about a totalitarian, authoritative regime that's going to try to monitor people, spy on its citizens, big brother's watching, right? So the mark of the beast has to do that. It has to do with a mechanism, a system, a global system where people are going to be tracked, they're going to be monitored, they're going to be spied on. And those people that don't want to receive the mark of the beast, like the Bible obviously confirms in Revelation chapter 13, they're going to not be allowed to buy nor sell. So this is something that is coming to a town near you.
Well, it's going to have to go underground. But the thing is, are you able to go underground? They may just throw you in jail if you don't take the mark because you're not adhering, right? They don't want you to go underground. I got people saying they'll go grow vegetables. Well, what makes you think they're going to let you grow vegetables? They may say that's against the law. It's got to be government sanctioned vegetables, right? Yeah, David. So when we come back,
Monsanto.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about. When we come back, I'm going to talk to David and you guys about. We're going to continue on this mark of the beast, how it may unfold. But could it unfold in the way of a disclosure? We're going to move into the world of, and you got to pay attention to this, folks. I've done many, many shows on this. I feel it in my spirit. The disclosure of the alien demon connection. All right. There's so many things coming out in the news right now. It's in our face, but is anybody paying attention? All right. So I want you to stay with me. We'll be right back. Listen, we have the new End Times DVD. It investigates End Times investigation. I have a lot of my friends on here, Lisa Haven, Michael Lake. I have Josh Peck, L.A. Marzulli, Stephen Bancroft. 8 hours of me investigating things like Satanism, demonic powers, Illuminati, New World Order, Antichrist, One World Religion, End Times miracles, Bible prophecy. Folks, let me tell you something. One day, what you're watching us on right now, it's called television, it's called social media, it's called the internet. They're going to turn that baby off. You need a hard asset. When all this stuff gets shut off, this is what you're going to be able to learn from and to understand. So I want you to text the word chosen to 91999 or go to davidheavener.tv/order or call 844-806-0006. The brand new DVD of Last Evangelist. You can get it right now. It's limited collector's edition. It's got the new episode on it, along with band videos with me and Michael Lake and Lisa Haven, Sheila Lazinski. Hey everybody, I am honored and blessed not to have just one new book out, but 2 new books. That's right, 2 new books. The first one is End Times Investigation. I deal with Hollywood mind control. I deal with demon portals, the alien-demon connection, astral projection, program multiples, satanic ritual abuse, and much, much more. The things that I talk about in Last Evangelist and on my shows, all my interviews I do, it's right here in this book, especially my life story. Also, True Power, how to access your true power in these last days, okay? It's a war manual for God's children. We need to learn the enemy's tactics and how to battle the enemy in these last days. Pick up a copy of this book. Just text the word chosen to 91999, or you can go to davidheavener.tv/order, or you can simply call 844-806-0006. All right, so good to be back with you. Please pick up the DVD of Last Evangelist, okay? Pick it up, because we're almost out of them. 8 hours of footage with all my buddies on here. Get that, End Times Investigation. All right, folks, listen, if you're interested, just call 844-806-0006. You can also go to davidheavener.tv/order. If you'd like to support the ministry, what we're doing, if you believe in what we're doing, and I know some of you do support us, you pray for us, would you consider becoming a monthly partner? That would, I don't care if it's $1, it would show your support, and we need the encouragement. We really do. Go to davidheavener.tv/give, or you can call 844-806-0006, or you can just text the word chosen. I love that word, chosen, to 91999. All right, I appreciate you guys. Spencer, go to David Heavener TV, davidheavener.tv. I want to play something on there. Go to the Alien Demon Connection channel, folks. This is David Heavener TV, and we have different channels. This is the Alien Demon Connection. I want you to play Exposing the UFOs, one of the many videos I've done with L.A. Marzulli. Let's just listen to the beginning of that. I believe these are really ET beings coming to help mankind, to save mankind.
And they'll have gifts.
That may be part of the New World religion.
It is the New World religion.
Wow.
It is the one world religion.
Are you saying that these implants that people are going to get are going to energize them into modern-day Nephilim?
In other words, there'll be a tie-in between the Antichrist and so-called ET. Number 4, we need to wake up, and start warning people what's already here.
That's right. What's already here, folks? Listen, we are on the cusp of a disclosure. I'm here to tell you that everything's lining up. First, there's going to be a pandemic, a scamdemic, a terrible thing is going to happen, and then they will show up, and they will be the saviors, and they will be supported by the one world religious system, okay? Mm-hmm. I've got a new series coming out with L.A. Marzulli on this. We talk about this. David Lopez, I just played the beginning of that. Oh, by the way, if you guys want to watch more of these videos, go to davidheavener.tv. I know I keep saying that, but people keep calling me going, how can I see all your videos? Look, they're all in one platform. We don't get censored. davidheavener.tv. It's cheaper than a cup of godless Starbucks coffee. So go per month. It's like $5 a month. It's cheap. David, you heard the intro on me and L.A. Marzulli. What say you on this alien demon connection?
I truly believe it to be demonic. They're really preparing and paving the way for a one world government, one world religion, one world currency. The Vatican, the Pope, the Roman Catholic Church is actually behind this, believe it or not. I've heard of Thomas. Have you heard of Tom Horn?
Oh, yeah.
And Chris Putnam?
Of course. Tom published 2 of my books, yeah.
Yeah, I remember reading about maybe 10 years ago, Exo Vaticana by Tom Horn and Chris Putnam, where they speak about how the Vatican, they actually went to Mount Graham in Arizona, which is like the 4th most holiest mountain of, Native Americans or indigenous people. And why does the Vatican have an observatory in Mount Graham, Arizona, right? We know that there's one obviously in the Vatican, but there's one here in the United States in our backyard. And the reason why is because they're trying to explore the, space. They're wanting to see what's approaching Earth. And so I truly believe that there is an agenda that the Roman Catholic Church has, the Jesuits, and all the world governments, the religions, the false religions that Babylon, obviously just, the Bible describes for Babylon in Revelation chapter 17. And so they're trying to push this because we are soon going to be visited by these entities of old, the Anunnaki, and they're going to be coming back, supposedly coming back to help us and guide us to this new age of Aquarius, enlightenment. And so the deception is coming there. People are not understanding what's really at stake here, what the agenda is behind this. So the stories that we're seeing about the sightings, the UFO sightings in Miami, the Miami Mall, this lady from the crazy plane lady, people seeing all this paranormal stuff that's going on, I truly believe it to be demonic. These are fallen angels. These are demons that are trying to lie to people. They're trying to lie about God's government, about Jesus Christ. And they're saying, hey, we're the saviors. Don't believe in Jesus Christ. Believe in us. We're the saviors of humanity. And if we, obviously helped your ancestors, we are so going to do the very same thing for you guys in present times or modern times.
Absolutely. So I want to kind of sculpt this out of all the interviews, David, that I've been doing through the years, and I'm going to kind of do a Johnny Thunder tour on this for everybody. And then I want to talk about 23andMe. I want to talk about how they take people's DNA, and is it safe? Okay, so here we are. You saw the scamdemic. You saw what happened. People freaked out. Fear factor. So we know that's what's going to happen when there's another event, and it's going to be 10 times worse. People will freak out 10 times more. If somebody says jump off the bridge head first, it'll save you. That's what people will be out doing. So here we have that. The fear factor, please save me. Number two is the religions will come together, not believing in the same God, but believing in the same, you might say, mission, the same agenda. And what would that be? That would be an actual alien force, so they think, showing up. It's actually going to be demonic. Because remember, a lot of these religions don't believe in demons. Because they're demons themselves. But they will support this one world religion. They will endorse it. Say this entity that's shown up. It is real, and he's good. He's safe. A little like ET type thing. And so everyone will adhere to what this entity says. Now, what would this entity say? Well, it could say a lot of things. Number one, it could say, anyone that doesn't bow to me, not that you need to worship me as a god, but you need to worship me. They'll use very interesting language, I think, that'll weave its way through it'll sound non-religious, but it'll actually be worshiping. And then this entity will say, okay, now's the time to take this mark. This mark may not be a mark. It may be a system that we fall in, or it could be an actual, I want to say jab type thing. It could be that type thing, but it will bring forth this mark of the beast. So what say you on that?
Yeah, like COVID-19, I believe it to be a kind of like a introduction, and just kind of giving us a heads up about what's going to happen with the mark of the beast. Obviously, I'm not a proponent of vaccine. I did not obviously take the vaccine, and I'm very sad to hear that a lot of Christians actually believe the World Health Organization.
Yeah, we have to be, David, we got to be really careful now. Now you're walking out on thin ice, walking out in the middle of the ocean. So let's put a pause on that for 1 second. I want to talk. Yeah, I want to talk about. And folks, if you want to hear more about it at 7:45, we'll dive into that on the underground. I want to talk about 23andMe. You asked me a question about it, and you asked me what I thought about it.
Yes, David, what are your thoughts on 23andMe and all these different, companies that, say, spit on this little thing and send it back to us? We're going to be able to show you what your, genealogy is, what your background is. What are your thoughts on that, on 23andMe?
Yeah. And I touched on it, but not a lot, but I want to get into it a little bit more. I'm glad you asked me that question. First of all, I don't do it. I don't think it's a good idea. I think it's a very not a good idea. But then, you know, I don't want people to think just because they don't do that, that no one's collecting information on you. On the contrary, have you ever heard of a blood test?
Yes.
If you've taken a blood test, you have no idea what they've done with your blood. You have no idea. Now, I know there's regulations and I get all that, but you know what? When we're talking about deep state, we're talking about, hey, you know, who knows what the rules are. So if you've taken a blood test, if you've been in the hospital, if they run all kinds of crazy tests on you that you don't even know the names of them, chances are there's some database, they've collected some information on you and I'm not just pointing you out, I'm pointing me out because I've had blood work done. You know, we do because we kind of like testing, checking the oil in our car. But I guess what I'm saying is it's very difficult to go hide somewhere these days, David. You know, but to blatantly say I'm going to send someone something that can check, you know, my DNA, I'm not sure that's a great idea. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't trust the New World Order. I don't trust any of their you know, these distractions that they have prepared for us because they know how to control the narrative. They know how to make things entertaining and attractive, you know, so people will fall victims of this. So I think this is something that we need to be very careful. And you know, we can't trust our government. We really can't.
Yeah. No, it's true. I want to. There's a video again. I go to David Hebner TV because I can play these videos. I can't play the whole video on here because we'd have problems. But Spencer, go to David's Choice channel, Spotlight. The second video on there, you'll see Russ knew too much. I've just uploaded that video, folks. It's what I really think to happen to Russ Dizdar if you, John Deslin, one of his assistants, I interviewed him. But next to that is DNA. They will turn your DNA off. Play the intro to that, Spencer. Why do you think they are spraying this?
If you're in certain states, I mean, you can see the film on your vehicle after every day of spraying.
It's kind of like conditions you for a future event, a later event that they have planned.
Large majority of your DNA can be turned on and off rather easily.
What's the virus chemtrail connection? Yeah, check out that video. We talk about chemtrails and they will turn off your DNA and how they're going to do it. What's the technique? I want you to watch that. That's on the David's Choice channel. And by the way, there's 20 channels here, folks. If you're not a member, go sign up now. You can be with us in about 10 minutes on Underground if you go sign up now. Look at all these channels here. We've got original channel. We got the Alien Demon Connection channel, the recommended channel. We've got the Russ Dizdar tribute channel, Overcoming Demonic Powers, a Money channel, Exposing Hollywood, the Health and More channel, Best of David Hebner TV. Okay, so go there and check it out, okay? DavidHebner.tv. David, in our last few minutes of this segment, I want to ask you about that intro I played. They will turn your DNA off, that they will have control over it, and they're spraying all this crazy stuff. So it's a two-part question. Let's talk about the chemtrails. Are you familiar with chemtrails?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. What do you think's behind that?
The New World Order. The New World Order is definitely behind the chemtrails because they're trying to depopulate the world. Agenda 2030, sustainable development, is something that is real, and that's one of their goals, to basically depopulate the world. You know, obviously the Georgia Guidestones, the first commandment, because the Georgia Guidestones really is a mockery of the 10 Commandments of God. When you read the Georgia Guidestones, the very first principle is that they're wanting to reduce the world population from what is it right now, like 7.8 billion people, and reduce it to like 500,000 people. So I believe the chemtrails and all the stuff that they're putting in our food and our water is to depopulate the world, just create all these, you know, pandemics and stuff like that, because they believe that there's just too many people. The elitists, the globalists are worried about that. So this is obviously one of their ways to try to suppress and to try to depopulate the world by using chemtrails, spraying chemtrails, all these, you know, toxins and poisonous stuff in the air, and then people are breathing that, and then it's causing all kinds of illnesses, like obviously cancer.
Yeah. You know, in episode 2 of Last Evangelist, we're getting ready to release it next month. It deals with the vaccine. There's two kinds of people: the ones that took the insertion, we call it the insertion, the ones who took it and are dying, the ones who didn't, but they can't buy or sell. Both
Right.
are in bad shape, right? We find out this insertion actually can control your DNA. I don't want to give away too much. But as a matter of fact, I'll bring you on sometime when we release it, so we'll talk about that, David.
Could I add something really quick, David? I
Yeah.
forgot to mention something. I apologize. So when you read Genesis chapter 6, and it talks about how the sons of God, the Ben Elohim, saw that the daughters of men were beautiful, fair, took wives, and obviously they produced the Nephilim. So from the beginning, the Bible obviously gives us an insight about what the devil's plan was for humanity. He wanted to control the DNA. He wanted to, for example, like transhumanism. Obviously, that's something that a lot of people hear nowadays and stuff like that. So from the beginning, from the get-go, it was the devil's plan to try to contaminate our DNA and take that what was from God. Obviously, create humanity, because we're obviously created in the image and the likeness of God, and the devil has been trying to tamper with that and taint our DNA, and that's the reason why he was mixing the angels, the fallen angels, and human beings, and creating these hybrid, right? These Nephilims that were not created in God's image and likeness. And so that's what the devil's trying to do today with the DNA.
Absolutely, because right now, because there's been so much abduction, they'll abduct a woman, they'll impregnate her, wait several months, take her back up, remove the fetus, and they've got these uteruses. They can now grow babies, and now you have basically modern day Nephilim walking among us now through the generations. So when this disclosure happens, you're going to have a lot of plants inside plants, and I'm going to deal with this in episode 4 of Last Evangelist. But going back to episode 2, there's things that they need to control your mind. It's mind control. They can control your DNA, which means they can control your health. It's all about control, David. And that's why it's important for me to make this series. It's really expensive. It's not like doing a video. A TV series is a crazy thing. It's expensive, but thanks to the people who believe in it, they've supported us and donated. And now we're doing episode 2. We're finishing episode 2, and we're starting on episode 3. Matter of fact, Spencer, go to lastevangelist.com, because I have people keep asking me, David, how can I pray for you? How can I support you? Go to lastevangelist.com, and you can see that you can go there and you can donate to episode 2. If you scroll down there, Spencer, I'm not quite sure what's under. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can see what we've raised. Very minimal, but God can make. He fed thousands off a little bit of bread, and some fish. But you can be you can be an actor, you can be a producer, you can be just a special thanks. And I think if you click donate, Spencer, you might be able to find out what it is, how people can show up and the things they can get. You can get T-shirt, you can get cup, you can get this Last Evangelist cup here, you can get the T-shirt, Legalize Jesus T-shirt, hat. You can go pick up all this merchandise. It helps support and promote the ministry. But really what it does, when we make these episodes, folks, I go into Hollywood, I screen these for Hollywood, for people that don't go to church, don't know God, and they'll come up to me, like I screened episode 1, David, last year in Hollywood, and people came up to me and said, David, I didn't know about this kind of God. Who is this God you're talking about? What do you mean? What is it? You see, they don't even know the real God, because church, modern day church, they have a fake God, right? And then one said to me, well, we don't really believe in God, but we didn't know that this was happening with the government. We didn't know this was going on. So you see the education, we wake up, we watch, and we warn people. And that's why I think it's so important that when God gives you ministry, you have to get out there and work it.
Amen.
All right. Thank you so much. David, I want you to hang with me. We're going to take a break, and I'm going to bring you in on Underground, and we're going to really dive into it. And I was so
Okay.
sorry to cut you off a while ago. I just
Oh,
want to
you're
make sure,
good.
I just want to
No
make sure we
worries,
can
sir.
stick around to have the rest of our interview. All right, David Lopez, how can people get in touch with you, brother?
Facebook, David Lopez, YouTube, David Lopez 07, and they can find me there. I'll be under David Lopez.
All right. Okay, you hang out, and we'll be right back with you. Spencer, let me know if my lovely wife shows up. I want to bring her in for some prayer requests and praise reports. She may not be able to make it, folks. It's so cold that, you know, when you walk outside, you just freeze. You don't even move, you know. But what I do want to do is I want to go to a commercial. We're going to come back. I'm going to share something with you very important. I'm going to go to Underground. So don't you go away. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and my employees and I want to thank each and every one of you for your support by bringing you the MyPillow that started it all. MyPillow's patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs regardless of your sleep position. Because it works, we've sold over 70 million MyPillows, and now I'm bringing it to you for the lowest price ever. For example, you get my standard MyPillow, now only $19.88 with your promo code. Now's the time to get them for your friends, your family, your neighbors, everyone you know. MyPillows make the best gifts ever. In the times we're in, one thing we all need is getting a great night's sleep. So go to mypillow.com or call that number on your screen now. Use your promo code and you'll get my standard MyPillow for only $19.88. For a more custom fit, my Premium Queen, only $24.98. Or my Premium King, only $29.98. This is a limited time offer, so order now.
Life is complicated enough. Why worry about what to do with your extra car? Skip the costs of maintaining it, storing it, insuring it, or renewing registration. Car repairs? Forget about it. Here's one easy solution to your car problem. Donate it to a nonprofit. It's fast, free, tax deductible, and if you donate, you're going to feel incredible knowing you're supporting a great cause. Interested? Just call this toll-free number or donate online. Thank you.
Hey, I want to thank you guys. Some of you all have donated some things like cars and trailers and things because it really blesses the ministry. Obviously, we don't get all the money or anything like that, but we get a small portion. It really helps out. You can call 855-500-RIDE, 855-500-RIDE, or go to davidheavener.tv/car if you'd like to donate a vehicle, a trailer, hey, even real estate, you know. And you get a tax write-off for quite a bit, you know. So please do that. And also on the MyPillow, man, I tell you, I don't endorse many things, but MyPillow is good stuff. They sent me a whole freight train full of pillows and bathrobes and slippers, and I've worn them all, and I love it. It's good quality stuff. If you got to buy it anyway, don't support the Antichrist. Go out and go to mypillow.com and put in the code name David7, and you'll get a discount. Or you can call 800-655-6935. I love you guys. Also, if you'd like to support the ministry, you can go to davidheavener.tv/give, or you can call 844-806-0006, or text the word chosen to 91999. If you would like to walk with us and help us in this ministry, we sure would appreciate it. We love you guys. All right, we're going to be going underground. And I want you right now to go to davidheavener.tv if you're a member. And I hope you're watching us on davidheavener.tv. If you're not, and you sign up right now, send me an email at admin@davidheavener.tv. I will send you a link for tonight, and you can get in. And from now on, you'll always get a link. Okay, it's for members only. All right. And okay, so I think that's it, Spencer. Anything else I need to cover before we disconnect and go to David Heavener TV? Not that I know of. All right. Well, I got these books. David Lopez mentioned Tom Horn. Tom happened to publish the book of Story of My Life. He said, David, they need to know about Hollywood, the truth about it, satanic ritual abuse, astral projection, alien demon connection. It's all right here. Story of My Abduction. You need to check that out. This is also how to use your true power in these last days. It is not the Bible, but it's something I believe God gave me to give to you. go to davidheavener.tv/order, or you can call 844-806-0006. All right. I love you guys. Don't go away. We're going to be with you on David Heavener TV and Roku and Amazon and Apple TV. God bless you. Love you.